2017 has been an absolutely magical year for the Switch, but 2018 holds a lot of promise as well. Today we're here to talk the top 5 Switch wants for 2018. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from Switch Force. Gabe is here, and we're not talking games today. We've got another special list for you coming soon, but this is more system level things. Items that we want to see added to the Switch's arsenal in 2018, updates and additions that we think would be very beneficial. So we're counting down our top 5, and Gabe, I'm going to let you kick it off with the first.
We had Hulu come to the platform not long ago. People were excited for a little bit, but since then, expectations have kind of gone away. The excitement is gone. But Netflix, YouTube, other apps such as that are still something that people really want. And I admit that Hulu isn't quite as big as Netflix and YouTube, so I feel like this is something that a lot of users still want. While I don't foresee myself or yourself using it very much, I do think that this is important, and I do think this is very likely. I think maybe at the top of the year, maybe that direct we get some announcement, or maybe it just comes out of nowhere like the Hulu one did. But I feel like apps like this, multimedia apps, are very important for this platform since it is doing so well and it is becoming people's like go-to console for, you know, taking on the go and stuff like that. If you're going on a trip, you can easily get your phone Wi-Fi on there, watch some stuff. So yes, Netflix and YouTube, very important.
Yeah, and it's already established itself as such a killer hybrid gaming platform. Adding these other features just rounds out the overall, you know, productivity, usage, whatever you want to say, of the system. And I think, especially considering that they are, you know, looking to charge for online towards the top of next year, adding these things is even more important, because you don't want to have, hey, we gave you free online, now you're paying for it. Like, it would be a nice gesture to say, hey, we're adding in a bunch of apps and a bunch of other sources of entertainment to make up for the fact that we're now charging. So 5 is definitely Netflix, YouTube, other apps, completing the circle with multimedia functionality. Number 4 is one that they did well in 2017, but I'd like to see an even greater emphasis on, especially with releases, and that is continued Joy-Con and Pro controller diversity, colors, options. I love the neon look that we got throughout 2017. I love that we got a Splatoon 2 and a Xenoblade 2 Pro controller, but I think there's opportunity to do even more of that, especially given the limited nature of these accessories. People are craving them. Sometimes they can't get them, so having more options is always a good thing. I'll be interested to see what kind of color scheme Nintendo chooses to go with in 2018, if they continue down the neon line, if they go for more of a muted tone like they did with the Super Mario Odyssey bundled Joy-Con, and what games they choose to give the Pro Controller treatment. If we eventually do get Metroid Prime, that seems like a likely one, but does Yoshi or Kirby receive a bright green Pro Controller or a bright pink, and do they opt to go with a different scheme? Because currently the look for Joy-Con has been neon. The current model for Pro Controllers has been colored handles with some artwork over the main body that's typically see-through. So I wonder if they continue along that exact, you know, formula, or if they do mix it up, given a new year, given a new slate of games.
Bayonetta Pro Controller, purple. That's what I want.
One that represents Bayonetta 1 and 2, each handle.
Ooh. Color
Scheme for that.
Yeah, that could
one has little short tassels for short hair, one has long tassels for long hair.
Yeah, well, see, the thing about Bayonetta 1 and 2 is the color representation for them is red and blue. So, yeah, I don't know. That's like a funky red, blue, and black. Nuh-uh. I want a purple Pro Controller for Bayonetta 3. I don't think we get a Pro Controller for 1 and 2. No way. But for the third one, since it is Nintendo exclusive, and since Bayonetta is, by all intents and purposes, like a Nintendo franchise at this point, I feel like that could be cool. Alongside whatever other big games we get next year, because, you know, we're assuming we get something big.
Right, or do they go with just some non-game specific color schemes? Like, we could get an all, you know, black set, or an all white set, or an all, you know, rainbow set, something that doesn't tie directly into a game. They did line up the releases like neon yellow for ARMS and the pink and green for Splatoon 2, but it's totally feasible that we just get like, hey, here's a, you know, a Nintendo Red Pro Controller, or a Luigi Green Pro Controller. It doesn't necessarily have to tie into games, but I'm curious what their accessory plans are for the coming year.
Yeah, and I think the accessories do really well. The new Pro Controllers, they sell out, and they are so limited. So I know you don't agree with this, but I kind of hope that they make them more widely available, and everybody that wants one can have one. But, you know, I don't know if that's in their plans.
Now, number 3 on our list is one that's a little out of left field, but it would definitely be of benefit for us, and maybe in general. The fact that the Switch is a region-free console is really cool, that you can access all the other country eShops and have those games at your fingertips is awesome. But the way that Nintendo has their point system and their credit card system structured, it's at times very difficult to gain access to the currency needed to pick up a game from Australia or pick up a game from the Japanese eShop. We would love to see Nintendo adopt a universal point system for their Nintendo eShop points so that things that I use on the US store could carry over to the UK store, could carry over to the Japanese store. That would be really convenient, really nice, and allow for gamers to take full advantage of the benefits of a region-free console.
Yes, and like you said in the beginning, maybe this problem is a little bit more us because since games do come out in other regions early, sometimes we want to bring you the coverage as soon as we can. So often we do go and get eShop points and we go to, weird websites or, Amazon Japan, but there's a lot of hoops you have to jump through, right? You can't just use a credit card for a Japanese eShop transaction. Now, I don't know how feasible that is, but like you said, maybe a universal point system would be really great. This one, I don't think it's likely at all.
No.
But, it's definitely something that I think would be helpful because there's a lot of people that, I go on Reddit and everybody wants these games as soon as they can get them. And like you said, the region-free aspect of the Switch is so great. I just wish we didn't have to jump through those extra hoops to get to it.
Well, and there are, aside from timing, there are some games that only exist in other regions. So it is cool that if you're going to allow for multiple accounts that can access these multiple shops, make it doable to make multiple purchases. I think that's...
Yes.
It would be a nice addition. It's probably the least likely on this list. And that's why it sits at number 3. Number 2 is one we've discussed from the onset of this console, and it's one I'm frankly surprised hasn't been discussed by Nintendo at all, and that would be themes for your Switch. Given the fact that they have such a clean interface, given the fact that customization is such a crucial part of the Switch, with Joy-Con, Pro Controller, cases, things like that, themes seems only fitting and would be so much fun. It was even exciting on the 3DS, despite being on a smaller screen and being a smaller scale. With the Switch, it would be so wonderful. I do think that maybe Nintendo views that customization as a detractor from people buying Joy-Con. If you could make your Switch red, would you really want the red Joy-Con? But I still would love to see them add more avatar options and eventually theme options as well.
They did add avatars recently. Mm-hmm. So, but themes, Xbox, they do this really cool thing where you can take a screenshot of the game and set that as your theme, right? You unlock an achievement, you can use that as like a theme for your Xbox. Stuff like that. Well, we don't have achievements or anything like that, but imagine taking, a picture of a beautiful vista in Breath of the Wild or Mario Odyssey, whatever, and just setting that as your theme. Like, that could be so, so cool. And, half of the implementation is already there. You can already take the screenshots. Now just give us the ability to make it a theme. As of right now, we have the black theme and the white theme, or dark and bright. I don't know what they call it. So even if it's just not like, hey, any screenshot, just give us more options.
Yeah. Well, and it is a really fun thing on PS4, especially in the early years of that console, of being able to look and get the dynamic themes and get the static themes. And, when you're excited for a new game, like if you pre-order the game, you get a theme with it. And since Nintendo has adopted preloading for their bigger titles and for some indies as well, it would be a really nice addition. And I'd be happy to even pay for it. If I could Mario Odyssey out my Switch, dude, I'd be all in for that. And especially for some upcoming stuff, around E3, tout a Metroid Prime theme or things like that. It would just be another way to add fan service and fun to the system. So themes, I don't know how likely they are, but it's definitely way up there on my want list.
I don't think it's unlikely. I mean, is it likely? I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably far less far-fetched than universal points and a little more far-fetched than more apps.
We absolutely get themed at some point, for sure.
Think?
Yeah, yes.
I feel like Nintendo views the Joy-Con as the way that you customize that console.
This is a new Nintendo. They're all about the fan. They listen. Let's
send letters. We want themes 2018.
Yeah.
That's the platform we're operating on. All right, so just to recap, number 5 is Netflix, YouTube, and other apps. Number 4 is continued Joy-Con Pro Controller diversity and options. Number 3 is a universal Nintendo point system. Number 2 is additional themes. And number 1, I think this has been number 1 since the get-go, some sort of virtual console or Nintendo Classics. Something.
We're getting something. We know that. With the online launching, we're getting old games in some fashion.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this one is happening, but it's just how it happens that we do not know. And I really hope that it is, as you said, a new Nintendo, a new customer-friendly way, and not an abusive way that is extremely expensive, allows for no carryover, and offers a small catalog. I would love to be able to play portably a lot of my favorite NES, SNES, and 64, and eventually GameCube games. It seems like such a smart move, such a smooth move, and it would continue to establish Switch as the ultimate Nintendo platform.
We have little things to look forward to, right? Archives, $8 arcade games, which, some people aren't into, but I like the Super Mario one. I thought that one was actually fun. So again, we're getting some version of this. It's just, are they gonna make a lot of people angry, or are they gonna make a lot of people happy? I don't think a whole lot of people are gonna be in the middle, but we will have very strong opinions whatever happens. But yeah, there's a ton of gems on SNES and other platforms that we would all love to play again. I talk about Secret of Evermore every once in a while. Like, how great would it be just to have every single game? Like, what? Other than like licensing things, yes, we can't have like TMNT or SNES.
I think at this point we know every single game's not coming, but
no, I know, but I'm saying like that'd be great.
Would be great, yeah, absolutely. And who knows? Maybe the announcement and the inauguration of the paid online brings a number of these. It could bring apps, it could bring themes, and it could bring Virtual Console all at once. So we could get all three of these early in the year, theoretically. But let us know in the comments down below what your number one Switch want on a hardware level or on a system level is for 2018, and how you feel about our list. Are you pumped for apps? Do you really want more Joy-Con Pro controller colors? Do you think Universal Points would be helpful for you? Is theme something you're excited about? And do you just want that Virtual Console, a chance to play some of your favorite Nintendo classics on your new favorite console? Give us your take in the comments down below. That's our top 5. Until next time, everybody, make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest and greatest from the Switch. And when these things actually happen, we will be bringing you the coverage. In the meantime, everybody, for myself and Gabe, thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for our top games of 2018. And until then, Switch Force out.